Welcome to the celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County. My name is John.
And I'm Kim.
And we thank you for stopping by on Tuesday night.
Tuesday evening. Happy Tuesday.
This is a post-Board of Supervisors.
Yes, it is. Post-City of Angels Camp.
City Council meeting.
City Council meeting.
Post all kinds of stuff.
Yes, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Post.
And at the Calaveras Nightly News, what we'd like to try to do is give you a summary of the happenings of the day in 30 minutes or more.
Yeah, and we may go over sometimes. We hope not to, but we try not to, because we just have so much to talk about, right?
That's right. And we'd like to thank, tonight we'd like to thank our sponsor, Golden State Cellular.
Thank you very much.
Golden State Cellular was one of our first advertisers on the site. I'd like to say thank you to them very much. And also, they have a new promotion in June.
Okay.
And they are now announcing carryover plans. So, new carryover plans bank your unused minutes. So let's say you've got 1,000 minutes and you only use 800.
Okay.
You can take 200 till next month.
That's great. Great news.
Yeah.
Of course, we always go over our minutes, so we don't ever have that problem, right?
Yeah, somebody likes to talk.
We like to yak a lot.
They're sitting at the table and it's not me.
Going into one of their stores, check out their deals. They have more cell sites than any other carrier in the area. Wow, they have a beautiful
new store in Angels Camp.
They do.
Middleton Shopping Center, the Mark Twain Shopping Center. Gorgeous new store.
Yep.
So go in and check it out.
Go in.
Right?
Yeah. So
And you too can sponsor the news if you're interested, right?
that's right.
Anybody can sponsor the news if you're interested.
Well,
email us.
We have to like them first.
You have to. It can't be. Well, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, I mean-
approved. It can't just be.
Yeah.
Has to be G-rated, correct?
Right, you can sponsor the news, but we're going to have to approve it, right?
Yes.
So,
And for a very reasonable rate, actually.
they could.
You too can sponsor our nightly
So
news with
we
thousands of viewers.
sell ourselves cheap.
Yes, probably too cheap, I think. Anyway,
Okay, on to the news.
so we had some
All right.
exciting things happen today in Calaveras County, didn't we? Started off this morning.
It was the
At
Board of
8 a.m.?
Soups. This was.
Interesting. You didn't know this was happening this morning when you went to the Board of Soups.
Oh, I assumed it was probably
Yes.
going to. All right, when we the county government center today, and it was. I have to admit, it was a little surreal because this normally doesn't. Events like this you don't normally think of as happening in your backyard.
Yes.
You hear about this as a major market issue, different types of stuff. There was the first same-sex marriage performed in Calaveras County today. They were allowed to, with a court ruling a couple weeks ago.
Yes, but it was actually the actual approvement occurred
Couple weeks,
last
yeah.
evening at 5:01 p.m.
Right.
So California is the second state, right? Correct?
Yeah, but also it was this latest. It was the court
Okay.
decision in California that allowed it here.
Okay.
So, and today was technically the first day.
Okay.
So, we got there this morning, and underneath the gazebo at the County Government Center, there was a large group of people, and the first couple to be married in Calaveras County was Russ Morawski and Robert O'Keefe. They were San Andreas residents, and they had a large contingent of their family and friends there, and in a ceremony right there at the County Government Center. And also,
What did Karen Barney's office tell you about this? You spoke with them for a few minutes.
Yes.
You said?
And Karen Varney's office, and she was, let's see, how should we say this? It was a little bit, Channel 7 from San Francisco had reported there were some counties in California that were not going to perform same-sex marriages. And it was a little bit of a misperception or a
Okay.
misstatement of Calaveras County because because as you know, most of you know, Calaveras County now is going through some fiscal constraints, budgetary issues, and they had already decided basically last month that they were not going to perform the ceremonies themselves,
Okay.
the county clerk's office. So obviously they'll give you a marriage license, but they weren't going to
Actually
perform
perform
the
them.
ceremonies
Yes, okay,
themselves.
okay.
And not performing the ceremonies had nothing to do with a
not
same-sex
allowing
issue.
it, okay.
It was purely that from a monetary and a staffing matter, they weren't going to be performing the actual marriage ceremonies, period.
Okay. Okay.
You can still request to have a judge do it, have your pastor
Yes,
do it,
yes.
different types of things, but they weren't going to be doing that
Okay.
themselves. So that was a little
So
bit
some
of
clarification on that.
Yep.
All right.
And so that would, and also at Board of Soups today, there was, I would say there was floodplain stuff, there was different things, and we'll have the full Board of Supervisors meeting up on the site later. Runs about an hour and 40-some minutes, fairly short as far as Board of Supervisors meetings go. Toward the end of the meeting was probably the most explosive item of the day that just kind of just came out.
Okay.
This was in the, typically before the board meetings end, the supervisors go through their calendars and what's coming, and Supervisor Tryon requested there be a study session on the amount of homes in the county that's coming out of the CDA that may not have had a final inspection.
So when did he request this? This morning?
That was this morning. And Stephanie Moreno from the CDA came over to respond to this and saying that a study session probably wasn't needed. They are going to be doing a study now to see the percentage of those. But what came out this morning is from a staffer that on the CDA's board, they think there may be up to a third of the homes in Calaveras County that have not received a final inspection.
But what I have a question for you
Yes.
is who requested this to begin with? This whole, how did this come up?
I guess this came up with
Originally.
There was a couple of them, and usually these things like this usually start with a case or two, to where I think a man went in to apply for a deck permit, went to pull a deck permit, and then they said that, well, you can't have your deck permit yet because this house never had a final inspection.
Okay.
So now it looks like that,
Because it was on the agenda today as being discussed.
Right.
So Tryon said he responded by saying he wanted to have a study session on it.
Well, a little
Correct.
bit of a clarification, yeah. And so, and this is going to be you're probably going to hear a lot about this coming up, and hopefully this will be another one of these things like with septics and everything where it's set, it comes out as a big problem, but then will go away. But that you'll probably see a lot of press on it, a lot of discussion of it, just from the sheer volume. Typically, what Stephanie Moreno said is there would be a nominal fee, typically under $200, to reopen your inspection process. If you have to get a final done on the house, it would be with the building codes that were in place at the time the house was built. So let's say it was a 25-year-old home. So you wouldn't have to meet the current stringent.
Okay. So they're saying, let me see, the Calaveras County Development Department Community Data is stating 1/3 of the homes in Calaveras County may lack final inspections, correct?
Right. That was what came out in open session today.
Okay. It's funny, I was talking to a gal today, and her father recently passed away of cancer. And so she has moved into his home, but his home was way out on this dirt road in Arnold and pretty secluded. But come to find out, she's inherited this home, but there's all these outbuildings. They're filled with just these antique cars and things that there's no permits on the outbuildings. So I don't know if I think she's going to have a difficult time when it's going to take a couple years before they can. She was saying before they can even put it on the market, which is kind of sad for the family, really. He didn't get things permitted, so
got him built though. Didn't he?
Now the family's
got him built though.
Yeah, so
Another on a traffic issue. Last night, this is one we saw come in just after 11 o'clock last night, and this one actually is thankfully everybody survived.
Yes.
But when you see stuff come in over the line,
It's hard
you
to
think,
tell sometimes.
yeah,
It is. Yes.
And this one came in as vehicle overturned, 2 people unconscious, Metaflight, came in. But this is over in the New Hogan Dam area, on the New Hogan Road. There was a 28-year-old Valley Springs man and a 40-some-year-old Valley Springs woman were driving down Hogan Dam Road. He failed to negotiate a curve, went down a steep embankment. The Camaro was overturned, ejecting both him and his passenger, Mindy Prater from Valley Springs. And when we came in is when this was called in, both were unconscious at the scene.
Okay.
And both were Metaflighted out to, one was taken to Doctors Hospital in Modesto, one was taken to Memorial North. But from all, it looks like they will survive.
They're okay.
I don't know.
Does he
I
have
know his
injuries?
condition. I know that if you're looking for some of the reporters, is they actually had spoken with her to determine that he was in fact driving. But and it looks like. But anyway, our thoughts and prayers to them. But also, it does look like alcohol was a contributing factor because they were from the report for the release. It does say that they were both very intoxicated.
Okay. Gosh, we've seen too much of that lately, haven't we?
Too much of that.
Unfortunately, there's been a lot of that. Maybe it's the summer weather. I don't know, but
Yeah.
too much. So we attended the City of Angels Camp City Council meeting this evening. It was actually a very short meeting. And
As these things go,
yes, it was shorter than I had expected. We live streamed it for those of you who may have watched
We'll
it
have
earlier.
the replay up a little later. Also, a couple little things.
What actually topped the agenda? It was the TOT, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this was, they're
The
going
TOT tax?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, they were thinking is because of the planning last week and everything, they're looking at how they're going to manage the vacation rental program. This didn't have anything to do with it. This was a fairly routine audit of the transient occupancy tax program for the city, which does contribute significantly to the city's revenue stream. Looks like, for one of the things we mentioned, about $700,000.
Okay.
So to basically run an audit of it to see if it's performing and functioning as it should.
Okay.
And the Angels Camp tot tax is a little higher than the county as a whole. It runs at 10%.
Okay.
So it runs at 10% on a nightly. And that would be...
which I think most areas probably charge out of the county to go. We've
much.
always paid that whenever we've stayed anywhere. So
and that was the main one. Then there was, the routine fun, passing stuff to pay bills.
lighting and all that was approved. Lighting for Utica Park was approved, and Downtown Angels Camp was approved, and all of that. No yawnets.
That's right. All right. And also, and a little more, if you haven't seen him, we have the pictures up on the site now of the poor car, the young man.
And I heard it was a 2003 Jetta. He still had his dealer plates on it, so it wasn't brand new.
Not brand new, but a $10,000
But it did end up
loss.
being a 10-acre fire yesterday at the Bar 20 and Highway 4 near Copperopolis.
Right.
They're saying the cause of the fire is under investigation, but they say it possibly could have been an ember that fell through
That's
the sunroof.
what for his car. Yeah, but that didn't start the initial
No,
fire.
yeah, we're not sure what started the initial fire. So,
and also a couple little promotional notes going. It's getting near the big Independence Hall flea market.
yes, it is.
And we
that
had
is
some
a
pictures.
good flea market.
And we want to thank Joe Aquilina for sending us in some photos. And this is one of those.
Actually, these are the ones that we took last year.
Oh, these are?
I couldn't get his to love market,
Ah.
and it's a great flea market. It's one of the best, right?
Oh, it's
They have lots and
it's
lots
busy.
of stuff.
It's busy.
The
They
kids
got all
love-
kinds-
Kids love to go. They sell like bags of toys and
It's wonderful. All these volunteers out there all weekend. Remember last year, how hot it was up in Arnold when we went?
I would like a bag of toys.
You'd like a bag of toys? Me too. I like a bag of money. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I see.
There's also something new and exciting in Calaveras County. Putt-putt golf! Can you believe it?
I can.
You can now putt-putt golf in Arnold, right near the Meadowmont Golf Course, right?
And this is pretty cool. Let's see if we
Yes.
can pull up some pictures of this. Now, if you haven't been by there, stop on in because
Yes.
this is pretty slick.
There has been a great addition to the recreation opportunities in our area. The Meadowmont Golf Course in Arnold has built a fabulous new putt-putt golf course. It is perfect for the young and for the young at heart. This new course is right next to Snowshoe Brewing Company and the Meadowmont office. Children 12 and under are only $5, and those 13 and older are $7, including a putter and a ball to use.
And there it is.
They're excited.
There it is. There's and it's a lot of fun. It's a really cute course.
I think it's very you know the one in Twain Art is quite popular. So I think this will actually become quite popular.
So you don't have to drive all the way over to Twain Art
birthday parties there and everything. Think about it.
Right.
Yeah. You want to have your birthday party there? Want to go putt-putt golf?
I would like that. That would be very nice.
That would be very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Kind of like that movie we saw the other night, Mama's Boy. Did you watch that with me? When he was in the putt-putt golf?
Yes, he was a
29-year-old gentleman that lived at home. He was quite the putt-putt golfer. Yes, he was.
And when the mom's other man defeated him, he was not a happy guy.
Happy.
So what did you want to cover tonight?
I was going to talk a little bit about the Greater Valley Springs Advisory Group moves forward with the Valley Springs vision.
Okay.
All right. Is that okay?
Quite all right.
The Greater Valley Springs Advisory Group, an ad hoc group of citizens working to help create a healthy community and a healthy economy, now has revised topic visions and new alternatives for Valley Springs Town Center and Greater Valley Springs planning area. Maps posted on their website. So you can visit their website. It's Greater Valley Springs. It's Valley Springs. MyValleySprings.com. They are seeking community input to these visions, which are the first step in suggesting a community vision. So you can visit MyValleySprings.com to see what they have planned for bringing Valley Springs vision forward.
A vision of the future?
Yes, a vision of the future. Yes.
And also going back to the events at county government this morning, there was just a single protest group out there with a placard this morning, and they were actually, and they were very cordial. They said that they were not protesting the couple behind them. What they were actually protesting is what they viewed was legislation from the bench. They said that the California courts did not have the authority to rewrite the law, to do that. So that was their position on that, and there was a protest.
Okay, all right. The Planning Commission will be meeting on Thursday evening. The Calaveras County Planning Commission will be meeting. Let me see. I'll go scroll down here a little bit. See, I've just done so much work today that I have to.
I don't know where it's located. Do you? I'm sure you'll tell us.
Southwestern Calaveras County. The requests retain substantially similar operations as permitted today and include one local land use regulation designation change, and 2 use permit modifications to clarify types and methods of waste handling and disposal. So that's to the agenda on our website if you'd like to take a look at that to see what else is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And CCWD will be holding a
joint committee meeting tomorrow.
I don't know what that means, but
more infrastructure stuff?
Yes, more infrastructure stuff. They will be, tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. There will be discussion regarding the general plan update and possible water element and land use. We have the full agenda up if you'd like to take a look at that. And also Thursday evening, something kind of fun that's going on is Discover Calaveras Hotel Leger style.
Hotel Leger.
Yes, something that the Calaveras Visitors Bureau has been doing They do it every summer. It's called Discover Calaveras. So people are invited. The public is invited to attend to learn more about the businesses that they may have never
and there's
visited.
a lot of stuff you could spend. I mean, and obviously we spent probably the last 6 months not leaving the county.
Yes.
And just
yes.
exhorting ourselves here. But you could spend years just
Yes,
wandering around the
what
county.
I think is cool is this summer they actually focused on bed and breakfasts and hotels in the area. I believe next month they're doing the Black Bear Inn in Arnold.
Are we going to go stay in one?
In a bed and breakfast? When's the last time we did that? they don't allow 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds. We can't bring them with us.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, they're doing it at 5:30 p.m. this Thursday at the Hotel Leger, the beautiful historic Hotel Leger, in downtown McCollum Hill. And we actually visited the Hotel Leger and did a video tour of the entire hotel back in December.
We did.
And we have the video up of that, if you'd like to take a look at that, just in case you can't make it to the function on Thursday evening. To see what the Hotel Leger is all about. It's actually gorgeous. Absolutely
and
gorgeous.
Can I cover some really hard-hitting national news?
If you want to.
Just for a second.
Okay, go
while
ahead.
you get ready for your next stories
Go
there.
ahead.
And I know all of you, this will really brace yourselves. The dad is selling Britney Spears' home.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Okay.
Ken Lee and Mary Margaret Britney Spears' father intends to sell her Studio City home in the latest liquidation of her assets.
Okay.
So I know that so Britney may have to move.
Okay.
So I knew that most of you that...
Brittany may have to move. Okay. So the dad, does he own the home or?
I don't know, maybe he's, probably since she was a minor, he's probably on it.
All right.
And also, on a more somber note, they had the wake today for Tim Russert, and
I was shocked when I read that.
Yeah, and this is one of the things is that he left a wake, a large path because I guess it was a wake, but the president paid their respects, and it volunteers the wake and the nearly
We missed him, and it was, quite a thing. And also, if you're looking a little bit on the political note, is John McCain is calling for offshore drilling to end some of the oil crisis, and also George Bush looks like he's going back on a little bit of some of the, he's been opposed to that so far. His position was like maybe softening, so they may be looking at trying to go towards some of the offshore
Gas
drilling.
prices are just getting outrageous. Taking the bus, right? Is the first for the season. Calaveras Arts Council presents Music in the Parks. Starts tomorrow evening in
Yes. And we will be there.
Yes, we will be there, providing free music as a focal point for bringing people together as a community is what the Calaveras Arts Council had in mind 17 years ago when it first presented its summer series of Music in the Parks. Now, this is a very popular event, so get there early. Once again, starting June 18th through August 20th, the concerts will happen every Wednesday night at 7:30 in a different town park. These concerts have become one of the most popular ongoing public summer events in the county. People bring picnics, their own chairs, socialize with friends, and listen to a vast diversity of music styles. Let me see. Tomorrow evening they will have, who is it going to be?
So we will be there. We're going to push this out live, aren't we?
I think we're going to try. Second Wind.
Second Wind.
Copperopolis Town Square, 5:30 p.m. Doo-wop and more. Square. They're the new gold of the Mother Lode.
I see.
All right.
There you
That'll be fun, I think. right?
Yeah.
We're going to push it out live, so if you can't make it, you can watch it right here on thepinetree.net.
No worries.
No worries. We'll get it covered for you, right?
That's right.
We even got coverage on a fallen branch the other day. You can count on us.
Well, that was also because since we are the pine tree.
Yes, we thought it was kind of appropriate.
If there was a tree that was hurt.
Because we love trees, so the tree was hurt, so we had to go out and, Hannah went out.
Its branch was...
Yes, exactly.
So, there we
You
were.
got to make sure you hug the pine tree at least once a day, right?
An hour would be... Every hour would be
and
better.
Every hour, okay, but at least one hug a day we'd appreciate.
Yes, we would.
Right?
Oh, of course.
Also, tomorrow, something kind of fun that's going on for the kids. If the kids are driving you crazy already, the summer's been started, a whole week now?
Yeah.
You can take them to the library in San Andreas. It's called Catch the Reading Bug, and they're going to have something fun every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. And this week is called Bring Your Own Bug Buddies. Interesting facts about all of our creepy, crawly friends. So from 1 to 2, they'll have activities and stories. It's called Catch the Reading Bug, and for more information, you can call 754-6706.
So you can catch the bug.
Yes, and I know they're doing something. I know Chris Fickner is also doing story time up at the Arnold Library every week. I believe it's every Tuesday. She does a story time. It says basically the moms can go actually read some adult material while the kids are having story time, right?
Careful how you phrase that.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mommy books, right?
Kind of like mommy movies.
There was also an Arnold Rim Trail meeting this evening at 5:30 p.m.
Yes, there was.
So we will have the minutes on that as soon as we receive those. Anything else you want to talk about?
How are we getting down there? How's the weather looking?
Probably pretty darn hot, I would say. What do you think?
Kim's a real fan of hot weather.
I'm sure everybody knows that already.
Yeah, she's
I
a
just
real
love it.
She's a real fan of
Love
100-degree temps.
Even going to the pool.
Itches, so that means if your Copperopolis Valley Springs, you may flirt with the century mark tomorrow. And if you're going on up to the higher...
The century mark. I like that, John.
That... Like
Maybe I don't want to flirt with the century mark.
Alright. And if you're going up to Bear Valley, you can drop about 20 degrees. It will be a high of 81 degrees tomorrow up in the Bear Valley area.
Okay.
Mid-mountain, Arnold area should be about 91 degrees, so about 10 degrees difference.
Okay.
Mid-mountain, 20 degrees on up.
Okay. A couple of things we forgot to mention earlier that I wanted to talk about. There was 2 arsons that took place yesterday. One in Tuolumne County, small things, nothing big.
Yes.
One in
Still
Calaveras County. The first one took place in, on June 14th in Calaveras County. A 5.5 acre grass fire that occurred on June 14th at 1820 Dogtown Road and Lakeside Drive. I guess there was an abandoned Ford Ranger that was set on fire. The vehicle fire extended into 5.5 acres of grass vegetation. No injuries or dollar damage reported at the time of report. It's a little disturbing. There was another arson that took place yesterday in Tuolumne County. 1 acre vegetation fire. No injuries or dollar damage reported. And we have the fire reports on both of those fires on thepinetree.net.
Alright, and we'd like to end tonight with a little poem. Not a poem, but a little quote from Winston Churchill.
Okay.
Now, and this is
By the way, Winston Churchill John loves him, right? You really admired the man.
Well, Churchill, yeah, because if you look at
He's read
history,
every
and most
book,
people
right?
would agree that
You
it
used to
was the
read.
willpower of Churchill changed the 20th century, and the
Yes.
fact that it would be a different map, world map without him.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was interesting, and many of you will know this, is that it was an interesting thing, and this is from 1939, I believe, when the Third Reich was rolling through Poland and all this other Poland stuff, and
This is
somebody had asked Hitler what stood between him and achieving all of his goals.
Okay.
And the interesting thing was what he said. And he said Churchill.
Okay.
And because it was an interesting thing to where Churchill at this time was out of power, out of office, basically almost just a common public citizen. But there was something intrinsically, something about the man that his spirit, his willpower.
Okay. Something
And
like
to
you.
break the British spirit, you would have to break Churchill.
Now, when I first met John, he was an avid reader. He probably hasn't read in lots of years since he started getting into the tech business. Now
Well,
he's just on the laptop all the
I
time.
read all the time now, but it's little bits and
But
pieces.
you don't read like when I met him. You had read how many books? I mean, you've read how many books in your life? In your lifetime.
Not enough lately.
But I mean, when I met you 15 years ago, my God,
Yeah.
you had read. You were just in. It was. I even bought you. Remember, I even bought you that original.
You did, that was pretty cool.
Yes. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to go off
No,
on a tangent.
we're really going off tangent
People
here.
just really want to hear that. I'm sure.
No, but I think a lot of people, it was an interesting where I went through a period of like 10 years or so to where every week I tried to read a book that was a biography of a great person in history. You
Every
went through a
weekend
phase
you
to
did.
where you'd go through.
It was single days.
You would
when
go
we didn't have
through
kids to
all the
worry about or
presidents. Yeah,
anything
you'd go
else.
through. Yeah, you'd start off with Washington and go through Adams and go through the presidents. And it was interesting because you felt like you really got to know these people.
Yeah.
And
You probably haven't done that since. I don't think.
no, I haven't. We still haven't done our Churchill quote yet, have
Okay,
we?
go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, here
I
we
went
go.
off on a tangent. I tend to do that.
Well, I mean, let's see here. Let's find a good one. All right. Now, this is one that... Here we go. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen.
Okay. Alrighty then.
There you go.
I guess I have a hard time doing that.
Nah.
Sitting and listening.
Have a great
Yes, have
night,
a
and
great
we'll see you
night.
back
We'll
here
see you
tomorrow
back.
night, and we thank you for stopping by. Good
Thank
night.
you.